Life without weed, and then a little sad face here. If you've recently quit smoking weed and you're struggling with that feeling of something's missing, or it seems to be a really big deal, something that you can't get your mind off of, I promise today's video and today's shift in mindset is going to help you out. If you enjoy the content, be sure to check out the video description in the pinned comment. We offer a free workbook on quitting smoking weed, as well as paid one-on-one coaching programs and fairly inexpensive group coaching programs as well when it comes to addiction recovery. So when you quit smoking weed, after you get through those initial withdrawal symptoms, it might be insomnia, sweating, nausea, coughing, lung irritation, all of that stuff, anxiety, frustration. There's this overwhelming feeling that something is missing. And most people, if they've quit for long enough, know what I'm talking about. This is that feeling of where, it's like you leave your house and you don't have your pen in your pocket. It's just something's missing. You come home at night and you were so used to smoking a bowl or whatever, doing an edible before bed, and something's missing. And it's a feeling. It's nothing more than a feeling, right? It's an agitating, annoying feeling. And as someone who struggled with nicotine, THC, energy drink addiction for years, I know this feeling. I would wake up in the morning and I would say, "Where's my energy drink? Something's missing." I'd be at work throughout the day saying, "Where's my vape? Where's my tin? Something's missing." And then I would come home at night and I would think to myself, "Where's my weed? Something's missing." I felt like I might as well have left my house without my underwear, without my shoes on going out when I first quit. So something's missing, but it's not weed. That's what I can promise you. It's not weed that we're missing. And this something missing feels like a really, really big deal, right? It's on our mind 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, especially if we're talking about the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the first month maybe, when someone quits smoking weed. It feels like a big deal because we are turning it into a big deal. If I make a big deal out of something, my brain interprets it as a big deal. So why do we make the feeling of something missing when we quit smoking weed such a big deal? Well, this is what I would encourage you to do if you're struggling with this feeling of something missing and you're making a big deal about it. I want you to ask yourself, what is actually missing? What things in your life are actually a big deal? Because the thing that's missing isn't weed, right? And the things in life that are actually a big deal isn't smoking weed. If that was the case, you wouldn't be quitting. If weed was actually super important to you, if it was truly a big deal to you, if it was truly filling a void in your life in one way, shape, or form, you would not be wanting to quit, period. You would be continuing to enjoy your smoking sessions or edibles or vapes or whatever it is. So reframe your mindset. Start here. What things in life are actually a big deal? What things in life are actually missing at this moment for you, right? Not for me, for you. When I look back on my experience in quitting smoking weed, this is what I found. Family was a really big deal to me. And this is in no specific order. My job, my career, my finances were a really big deal. The bills that I had to pay were a really big deal to me. My physical health and being able to do and keep up in life the way that I wanted to. Getting to the gym, having enough energy to go to work, having enough energy to come home and do things with my wife and my family, right? Physical health. My mental health was a really big deal. How I woke up feeling each morning. Am I happy? Am I sad? And am I ready to go? I didn't think too much of it, especially in the first 90 days of quitting. But long term, I care about my mental health. I don't want to be going around depressed and anxious and upset and stressed 24/7 for the rest of my life. So it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal for a lot of people. Is faith a big deal for you on your journey? Is it religious based? Is it not? These are just a few examples of things. I don't know what's a big deal in your life. I don't know what's missing in your life. But when I look at the reasons why I was quitting smoking weed, it was really easy to say, wait a minute. That's what's missing. The time that I used to spend with my family before this addiction, some of the relationships that I had before this addiction, wanting to get into new, better relationships was a thing for me when I was quitting. Getting more money, growing my business, right? I've worked for myself for many years. Growing my business was a big deal, right? The money to get the car, to pay the bill, to go on the vacation. Some people don't care about those things. I did. That was a big deal. My mental health, my faith, my physical health, all of these things mattered. And guess what? These are the things that were missing. So when I woke up one day and I said, something's missing, right? What is it? It's not weed. It was a lot of the things that weed was displacing in my life. And the reality is, now that I've quit, I was no longer numb to the fact that I was missing out on multiple aspects of my life. My physical health, my finances, my relationships, pretty generic things that we talk about when it comes to addiction. Those were the things that were missing, though. It wasn't the drug. It wasn't the vape. It wasn't the energy drink. It wasn't the adult media content. It wasn't any of those things. The things missing were the things that I cared most about in life. And now that I was no longer blinded by the substance, now that I was no longer under the facade of the drug, I started to notice. I started to realize the things in life that I was missing, that I had to go reclaim, that I had to go work to bring back into my life. There was something else as well, too, when I quit that was missing, and I made a little side note of this. Friction, pursuit, and reward. I think it's very important when you quit using a substance that you take all of that obsession, all of that energy, and that you put it into the next thing. What are you going to pursue? What's going to create friction in your life? Addiction creates a lot of friction. We need friction. We tend to thrive on it, especially if you are struggling with addiction. And then you need something, some way, shape, or form to reward yourself, right? Addiction was, in a sense, or at least a perceived reward. It wasn't really a reward. It was a perceived reward. But are these things missing in your quitting process? What are you pursuing now? What's the friction in your life? What's the goal? How are you going to reward yourself, if at all? These are all things that you want to start to consider. You've now noticed. Welcome to quitting. This is what it's all about. Make a big deal of the things that actually matter. You only have so much brain power. You only have so much physical endurance each and every day. Make a big deal of the things in life that you actually care about, the things in life that actually matter to you. It's not weed. It's not the sensation of something missing in your pocket or in your backpack or in your purse or wherever it is. It's not that thing on your nightstand. It's family. It's faith. It's finances. It's physical health. You choose what matters most to you in life. And if you are making a big deal of weed and you are making a big deal of quitting weed and you are so focused on that one thing, that one simple, minute thing that feels like it's missing, guess what? That's going to matter most to you. And as long as you keep thinking that way, that's going to matter most to you for years to come. You guys know, if you follow me long enough, I have no problem with how someone quits drugs. AA, MA, NA, it doesn't matter. But you do know my opinion on AA and 12-step programs when it comes to this topic. If we continually make a big deal of something, if we repetitively keep revisiting that thing, and we don't create friction somewhere else, we don't pursue something else in our lives, that thing is always going to be a big deal. When I stopped drinking alcohol, I didn't want alcohol to matter to me ever again. When I stopped smoking weed, I didn't ever want weed to matter to me ever again, because there was other things in my life that I wanted to go pursue and go do. So sometimes this mindset, I think, gets ingrained in us in kind of the traditional recovery methods and routes, which is fine. For a lot of people it works, but it's not what we do here. Okay, now, if this video worked for you guys, if it helped, be sure to check out the video description. I got a free PDF, a 7-step guide on how to quit smoking weed, and then I have an 80-page downloadable guide on how to quit nicotine products and cannabis products. You guys can shoot me an email, DocFrank here at AddictionMindset.com, or refer to the pinned comment where you can learn more about our free guide, our one-on-one coaching programs, and our group addiction recovery coaching programs, guys, which are only $4.97 a month. We got a pretty awesome group of people. So check those things out. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments what you enjoyed most, or follow me right into one of these areas. I'll be looking for you. Until next time.